So I think one of the downsides of waiting until you're 30 to become a Star Wars fan is that by that point you have so much knowledge about the world and so much awareness around race and class and privilege that you just realize it can be so much more than what it is, you know? I mean, that is if you don't just want to throw the whole franchise away altogether, which understandably some people might do. But before I get too deep into it, I should probably let you know who I am and why I'm here. I'm Shelby. I'm a documentary filmmaker working under the pseudonym Shelby Works. I've made long films, short films, films about drag kings, films about other artists. My most recent work documents the efforts of different grassroots community organizers based here in New York. And over the quarantine, I've just felt this desire to expand my work and go a little bit deeper into my creative process, and then maybe share that process with you, should you be so interested. Now, going back to Star Wars, what sparked the questions that I'm going to ask in this video is this one scene from The Force Awakens. It's one of my favorite scenes. Like every one of the 8 times that I've seen this movie, I always rewind this one scene maybe like 3 or 4 times to rewatch it. I don't know why I like it so much, but then at the same time I kind of do.
So you're with the Resistance?
Obviously. Yes, I am. I'm with the Resistance, yeah. I am with the Resistance.
I've never met a Resistance fighter before.
Oh, this is what we look like. Some of us. Others look different.
BB-8 says he's on a secret mission. He has to get back to your base.
Apparently he has a map that leads to Luke Skywalker, and everyone's after it.
Luke Skywalker? I thought he was a myth.
So just in that one moment, there's all of this weight that's given to what it means to be in the Resistance. That anyone who is a part of this collective, part of this group, is automatically considered a hero. And there's that sequence that I love when they mention Luke Skywalker, who's like one of the legends of this Resistance. And the camera kind of pushes in when they mention his name in that quintessential cinematic way that it just gives even more weight to what it means to be part of this movement, right? It's almost as if when they talk about it, when they talk about the Resistance, that it feels more like folklore than history. And so just to break down the basic idea of Star Wars for anybody that's lost and hasn't seen any of them before, there's the good side, which is, the Rebel Alliance, the Resistance, aided by the Jedi, which are how can I explain? They're kind of like ninja sorcerers with laser swords, I guess you could say. And then Luke Skywalker, the aforementioned Luke Skywalker, is one of the Jedis in the story. And then you have the bad guys, which is the Empire, the First Order, which eventually becomes the Final Order. The entities that oppress the rights of the people. They represent the dark side of the Force. And the whole franchise is basically the story of balancing out those two powers. Now, just hearing that, just based on that, it's obvious that there's a lot of fodder for really radicalizing the story just based on those two elements. But the more I watch Star Wars, which is a lot, I've watched it on average 7 times over the past 3 or 4 months, the more I watch it, the more I realize how the potential is just curtailed because of the limitations of hetero white supremacy. The girls have to have long hair, no gay storylines, this co-opting of Eastern philosophy and spirituality. Now, maybe some of this is due to the fact that the whole idea of Star Wars was incepted in 1970, and maybe back then George Lucas thought that these ideas were radical, or maybe he wasn't even, which is most likely, he wasn't even trying to make something radical. He was just trying to make something that was cute and fun. And for a while I thought, if I get to direct and write my own Star Wars trilogy, I feel that would be the pinnacle of my creative aspirations, right? But to be honest, I'm actually embarrassed that I like it so much. Embarrassed both because I'm just too old for this shit, and also because I know better. I really know better. But knowing better just compels me to kind of like alter that pursuit, alter that goal, to be more guided by a prospect that's closer to, you know, what would Star Wars look like if it was informed by the cultural landscape and the socioeconomic implications that are present in the work that I already do, you know, as a documentary filmmaker. What if the Rebel Alliance and the Resistance was more representative of the foot soldiers I know that are actually working to resist oppressive structures? I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a very intriguing prospect. And, you know, it's more or less on me to figure out what that looks like. Anyway, with that, I leave you. I don't have a cute little sign off to say goodbye, so I'll most likely just cut to black. So.